There's something that we see in a tree. It looks like it has like a white patch on it, so that might be the head of a bald eagle. Oh, yep, there he is. That was the eagle. Somebody's a chatty Cathy. And there's the eagle again. Ooh. Mid-air, took a shot at him. And the eagle's coming back up around. We got a full 50-yard spool of Suffix 832 ice. And let's see what happens. Oops. The ultralight Lucky Craft. Little snacky, using a size 0 Mustad fast hatch clip. This is a truly one-handed fishing rod. And if anybody can tell me the name of this lead head, let me know. I don't usually fish jig heads, but I've had these for God knows how long. They're probably discontinued. But they're nice and they have a razor sharp hook. I want to say that they're Storms, but that can't be right. Alright, so this is the rod we just rewrapped. Throwing a ultra light Lucky Craft little snacky. We have all the magnets installed in this Aldebaran BFS. We have 4-pound Suffix ice braid. And there is up a little bit, so we're not really trying to catch much. We're just trying to see how this thing casts. I tied on a 6-pound leader just because. And I have a PR knot going from the leader to my main line. So full brakes on, 8'2", Tailwalk Taigame TZ. We're gonna go down spiral wrapped. You can see how the guides start on the top, they rotate around, and then go to your standard spinning configuration. Our biggest concern was whether or not the rotation was going to cause kind of a backflow. Wow, okay. Okay. Okie dokie. We're going to go down further. Go down to 4.5. That seems to be a tappy place. Comes off straight off the rod tip. No drift. A lot of times if you go too high into braking, if you're casting over your right shoulder, since I'm backhanding it out, it's going to carry from my right to my left. If I'm aiming perfectly straight, it's going to kind of swing out to the left and beyond my intended target. We're going to go down to 4, and we have no spool tension. When you're throwing ultralight lures, you can't have any spool tension. You'll just never get that spool going, and you'll start off drifting. Oh wow! All right, that was nice. That was very nice. This is a fully functional 8'2" BFS rod. Super light tip, ultralight action, very sensitive rod. You can see how the tip flexes just with that little 16th inch little snacky in the current. Pretty. And there's actually a pretty decent breeze coming. That one just kind of knocked it down. The wind is coming right up river, up current. And since there's a bend, it's kind of coming at me up current, almost to my left eyebrow. All right. We made something. I dig it. You can see how that neon green line follows the blank. I think you can at least. Let's lean back a little bit. Maybe you can see it better from this angle. You can see the purple, bluish. Those are the guides I replaced. One-handed, non-sidearm. Beautiful. It's probably about 65, 70 feet-ish. Which is perfect, if you ask me, for this little tiny bait. And if you look, I don't even have to thumb anything. You go down to 4. Usually around 4 is when it gets a little squirrely. 4.5 is comfy. Keep in mind, this is a spinning reel seat. This is, I believe, the Fuji TVS, but Tailwalk puts this giant, I guess, retaining nut down here, and it's reverse. And I love this trumpet-shaped foregrip. When it was for spinning, it was the most comfortable grip because your thumb just locks in it like this. But what I find here is, see how my pointer finger goes right upside like that? It's beautiful. It allows me to kind of claw this area without a trigger. I don't like triggers on my BFS rods. I just see that they just get in the way. I actually grind them down. But I can lock my pointer in it like this. You press the thumb bar, and boom, just give it a little flick. And the main reason why I decided to turn this into a bait casting rod is because I'm one of those idiots that when I throw a spinning rod, I switch hands. So I cast over my right shoulder, and then I switch hands like this. So I cast like that, and then switch. This extremely long butt section, if it even shows up in frame, was just too much to switch, and it became inconvenient. I always get it stuck in a shirt or my waders or whatnot. But figuring since with a bait caster, I don't switch hands at all, figure it would lock in. So right now it's locked. It's kind of this butt, you can see I'm trying to pull on it here. It's in there good, so I could just, with no worries. And it's just right here. Very comfortable. I wonder if Tailwalk will actually start making a rod like this. It's got a great action. There was a little backup right there. I don't know if you heard it. That little backup, I think, was the knot hitting the guides. That's also what I wanted to check, is if the big PR knot will cause an issue. See how long that knot is? It's about 2.5 inches. Actually, you know what? Compared to the size of the lure. Give you an idea. Oh, got a little fluffy. Little fluffy. But I dig it. Finally get to put this rod back to use again. I used this on a float trip down the West Branch of the Delaware, and I found that it was great, but that whole inconvenience of switching hands has made it more of a hassle. Had a great action. And I had 2 of these. I had 8'1" medium light, and this was a medium plus. And this is not like a medium in a bass rod. This is a medium in a Thai rubber rod, which is designed for bottom fishing, dragging ultralight jigs, or similar to jigs, off the bottom for a species of fish called Thai. I don't know too much about the technique, but it involves very limber tips so those fish can inhale the baits without feeling the rod tip. But it took a gamble to see if it would transition to trout fishing, and it sure did. And now it's transitioning beautifully to ultralight BFS. And one thing that's real nice, do that real spongy tip. It allows these baits to track a little bit better in the current, because no matter what, that tip's always going to give. It's never going to try to force it back at you. And it's kind of soft, very slow to recover. So it allows that bait to do what it wants to do while in the current. So once again, Shimano Aldebaran BFS XG 2016. Tailwalk Taigame TZ, 4-pound Suffix 832 ice braid. We wanted to do an experiment to see if that waterproof hydrophobic coating will keep the line off the water off the line, so it'll kind of drift better and mend better. So far, can't really tell much. Brand new line, just spooled it up. PR knot to 6-pound test fluorocarbon, which is the Seaguar Tatsu, and the ultralight BFS, I guess. The ultralight Lucky Craft. Little snacky, using a size 0 mustad fast etch clip. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This little bit of time spent seeing if this experiment worked. Next up, I'm going to see how my G Loomis spinning rod to BFS casting rod transformation panned out. This was just one in a pair of videos I'm going to be putting out, experimenting with acid wrapped BFS spinning rod conversions. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Tight lines, and I'll see you soon. Here we have a little Kitech Easy Shiner, and if anybody can tell me the name of this lead head, let me know. I don't usually fish jig heads, but I've had these for God knows how long. They're probably discontinued. But they're nice, and they have a razor sharp hook. I want to say that they're Storms, but that can't be right. I've been looking for them the last couple of days, and I can't find any information. So that was the knot jamming up. I don't know why, but it did. That time it went out cleanly. Yep, there it is again. Again, we don't need to... I have a feeling I know what's going on. It's because my leader is so long, that slingshot aspect where you cast out, it stretches the leader. The spool is moving so fast because when you take your thumb off the spool, it's not only under the tension of the loaded rod, but it's under the tension of the stretched line. But the lure never takes full advantage of it unless it's a very aerodynamic lure, so that spool is going to over-rotate and overspin at a higher RPM. And yeah. That's why it locks up like that. And when it hits that guide, it slows it down just enough to create that overrun due to that stretch. I mentioned it before in a previous kind of casting demonstration video where a lot of tournament casters, they want to use the leaders that have the least amount of stretch possible so they don't have that same exact issue. So between this extra long length of leader, the stretch of it, the non-traditional guide layout that may have a little bit more of an impact on that knot as it travels through it. That's why we're having that issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim the leader and see if it makes a difference. What we've done since we last met was trim down the leader, and we found that the shortening of the leader allowed us to kind of muscle cast a little bit further. So we're able to hit that seam with ease without fear of that knot hitting that guide frame and causing an overrun due to that super long leader. And I gotta admit, I still love not having a trigger on this. I don't know what it is about triggers for ultralight twitching, that triggers on reel suits suck. I don't care who you are. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced a non-triggered light action twitching rod, but see what I'm doing here? I'm just going boom, 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 boom. No trigger to bind up my knuckles, nothing to impede me, just a round barrel. It happens to look kind of fancy because it's Tailwalk, and they put fancy schmancy stuff on it. Just twitch it one-handed all day. This is a truly one-handed fishing rod. Across the entire river, one hand, backhanded. And this butt is right up against the inside of my elbow. Perfectly placed, so when I do set the hook, it's not flopping around past my arm and straining my wrist like short butt rods. standard. One hand, high, almost as far as a two-hander, but no effort at all. Just so you guys see what I'm doing here, and believe me, I'm not using two hands.